live here. I am Amanda, and I'm coming at you with Amuza games. I also work with Game Brewers, so you may have seen me around in some other videos for that. But their imprint company for family games out of Game Brewer is called Amuza Games, and they are scheduled to release 3 new games this fall, spring, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Quarter 4 here coming up in September. There'll be a Kickstarter, so hopefully those will launch and go through, and you're kind of getting a good first look at some of those games that are kind of be coming live to that Kickstarter next month. All right, so let's get started. I've got a lot to talk about. So first up is we're going to talk about pizza. Pizza, there we go. It's going to be a very interactive PowerPoint presentation. But we have pizza, and this is a look at the box. It has been out online for a little bit, but the game was designed by Sidney Lowe, and he was the designer of a Pleasant Journey to Nico that came out a couple years ago. I thought it was a hugely overlooked game. Great, fantastic strategy game about Antarctica and penguins. But this is a new game from the same designer, and it is going to be released through Amuza. It's about pizza. The game is about being the best chef, figuring out what the customers want, filling up your pizza boards with the correct toppings, and serving the customers at the right time. All right, let's see here. We have the pizza board, which is a board that sits in the center of the table. It's going to have 4 die on them. That's going to go on each of the different colored locations. If you can kind of see there, those are just examples, not necessarily those numbers. At the start of each round, some die are rolled and placed onto those different locations. The B below, those are for bonus tiles. So this is the advanced version of the game. It's a double-sided board. On the other side, those won't be there for younger players or if you want to have just even a quicker game. And the score track does go around the outside, and the numbers 1 through 6 represent the number of rounds to the game. Now, on the edges are going to be some customers. This is, I believe, all the customers that we have in the game. You will not be using all of them, just a few. You shuffle that deck up and deal them out. They're all going to start on their gold star side. This is their hungry side. These are the customers' most valuable amount of points. They've just sat down in the restaurant, they're really hungry, and we'll be rewarding chefs with quite a few points if they're able to serve them exactly what they want. The thought bubbles above them are the things that they're dreaming about. They're perfect toppings. That gives players the idea of exactly what they need to put on a pizza and only exactly those things. For example, the Italian, he is very particular about his pizza because he is from the birthplace of pizza in Naples, and there can be no pineapple on his pizza. If you'll note, he has everything but of course the lady from Hawaii would love to have some local pineapple fruit flavor on her pizza. So that gives you an idea of kind of what the customers are looking for. And there's a few varieties in there. Some of them say that, if you'll see, there's little equal signs, the number 9 there on the left hand side. She wants 3 ingredients, so lots of only one thing. Your choice, but it has to be only one type. So these customers are going to be out there. You know what they are. You're going to have a hand of cards. The 6 cards, everybody has the same 6 cards, one of each of the ingredients. You're going to shuffle up your deck, and this is your player board. You're always going to have 3 of those cards in your hand. This is an example of a game mid-game. One of the slices has already been served. We'll come back to that shortly. But the pizza disc, which is not pictured on here, but that will start at the beginning there on that top arrow, right next to it on the 2, and be moving around in kind of a rondel fashion throughout the game. And whenever it stops, you're going to be able to place a topping onto that slice. And later, after the round is over, if you have a slice that meets any of those customers' demands exactly, you'll be able to serve them that particular slice. So in this picture example, the left wedge there has been completely eaten and flipped over. How do you move your pizza token, and how do you place down those toppings? Well, the die, if you'll recall from the original player board that got placed, were on different colored slots. Let's see if I can bring that back up for you. It had orange, pink, green, and blue. So with the orange, pink, green, and blue, you also have those here on this picture. And those are the the colors where you're going to place your cards. So if you had a pineapple and you placed it down on the pink, and the die on the pink circle was a 3, you would move your pizza token 3 spaces clockwise around your pizza, going from slice to slice. Wherever it stops, then you're going to place a piece of pineapple. You can take that pineapple from the general supply of tokens and add it to your pizza slice. However, if you'll note, this again is mid-game, so some of them are missing, but at the start of the game, each of those card slots has 3 ingredients next to them. If there is the desired ingredient next to it, so let's say we played a pepper in the pink and moved 3, you'd be able to take that pepper token you see next to the pink and place it on the board, freeing up that little B or circle colored zone. This is the, I guess, advanced side. Otherwise, it wouldn't have the B there for bonus, but it'd be cleared off. And at the end of the game, on the right there, you see if you can clear 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those, you get 1, 3, 6, or 10 points. So it can be good to match up with what you have on your board, but it's not necessary. You can always take them from the supply to put the type of ingredient you need on your slice. Everybody will do this one at a time or kind of simultaneously, depending on how experienced the players are and how fast you want the game to go. But you'll go through 3 cards. You will be able to play down 3 different ingredients in each of the rounds. And once you've done that, you'll take turns in player order serving those customers. I think I have a closer look at some of these customers. Let's see here. Yes, I guess I could have, I jumped ahead of myself. So we've already explained they're thinking about the things that they want to eat. Very specifically, the bottom right one there, they're looking at getting 3 different ingredients. They don't want too much on their pizza, but they're not terribly picky. You could do 1 salami, another salami, and a pepper, or you could do an anchovy, a salami, and a mushroom. But 1 from each of those 3 little circles there. So we kind of covered that already. This goes over points a little bit more. We talked about the lady from Hawaii. She's looking for some pineapple. If you serve a pizza slice that has exactly 1 salami, 1 pepperoni, and 2 pineapples, you will get a total of 12 points. Now, every customer that serves her this round will get that full value of 12 points. But after this round is over, the lady is going to be full. So she's like, I'm still going to eat some pizza because this is a really good pizza restaurant, but she's not going to be as excited to be eating pizza. So she's only going to give players 8 points if you serve her in a subsequent round. But they'll still give points. They never go away. They don't leave the restaurant, but they're just not as hungry. All right. So this is an example that we had from the mass production copy that got sent to our offices of a game in setup. And so you can see that there's bonus tiles on the bottom, and the customer cards around the outside of the board, as well as the 4 die placed there in the middle, and a player board kind of there in the background, full of those tokens with the slots empty for the pizza cards. The bonus tiles are for when you're a little more advanced, when you are able to choose a bonus tile, you would take it, and it's going to have different special little changes to the game that will be for more experienced players. Extra bonus points and extra actions, that sort of thing. So that is the first game coming out in the Kickstarter campaign this September from Amuza Pizza, and it is our biggest of the 3. So we started with the big box, and now we're going to move on to kind of the medium-sized box. It's a card game, but there's also a player board, and there's quite a lot going on with some cubes and things like that. It's called Circus. Circus is a game from the design, I think it's a trio, but they go by, I'm going to butcher the name of this, but Treg Granick. And they were responsible for some other games like Isle of Trains, I believe. And I'm just going to blank, so I'll move on. But they're kind of a design team behind some games. And the illustrator, Davy Hammer, is new to illustration in the board game world. That was the first credit on BGG, and we're pretty excited about the art. It's quite pretty, not only the box, but also the character cards. So this game is about developing acts, your characters, that will go into your circus caravan, which will be in front of you. You kind of start the game with 2 of these cards face up, and they don't have any cubes on them right now, so they're sort of just basic. They do have their different specialties: jugglers, magicians, acrobatics, mimes, strongmen, and clowns, and they are male or female, and they're depicted on the cards in these lovely illustrations, but they don't have any cubes. So the idea with the game is that you'll need to be developing those acts and making them a little bit more special. That is done on your turn through the use of these upgrade cards. Now, the upgrade cards, you can play as many of them as you have kind of in your hand and that you can afford. The cost for the cards is in the bottom right-hand side, and the way you pay for them is by discarding other upgrade cards that you're not going to be using. So you'll be going through quite a few of these. There are both the actions on the front as well as the payment needed to activate those cards to get the upgrade cubes on those performers that you saw earlier. And they range in different actions from patience, which will add a talent cube, or sorry, I shouldn't say talent. That's a... I'm totally blanking on patience. Costume card, which allows you to put on your choice of specialty, but they have to be the same. And practice, again, this one is dependent on when you add a new card to your line, if it's going to have match the card upgrade card, whether it's male or female. And the inspiration card, which its cost is 4 cards, but minus the number of cubes that are on the center stage. I haven't talked about the center stage, so let's talk about that. When you are done with your upgrades, and everybody has done so, you are going to want to play one of your circus acts onto the center stage with all of their cubes that you have added on there. It is your choice which one you move into that act, which act you move into the center ring, and you are going to want to look at the cubes that are on the previous one in that row. That'll be the only one with cubes. For every cube you have that matches the one that was played by somebody else previously, you will get 1 point. For every cube you have that does not match, you will actually get 2 points. So you're really going for some variety and things like that. Once that is done, you remove the cubes from the rightmost card in the lineup. Your card will stay out there for the next player to have to compete against, and any other cards in that row that match your type of specialty will also be removed. So if the clown runs into the center stage acting all crazy, the other clown that has been played will have to leave, as well as anything to its left, so anything older. And so that kind of keeps it fresh and keeps it going out. But it's important to note you want lots of things out there, because that's the number of cards that you're going to be able to get for the next round based on how many were in that line. Oh, yes, I went through that one. Yes, so at the start, just kind of as a round counter, a little bit like the other games that have cards that come out, there'll be 7 in a base game or 9 of these poster cards. So the poster cards are going to be set up in a line, they're visible, and at the start of each round, any of your performers that are in that specialty, you're actually going to be able to score points based on the upgrade cubes that are on them at that time. So you're sort of seeing what's coming, what the different acts are going to be advertised in each of the different performance nights, and you're going to want to be sure that you've got lots of cubes on that particular type of specialty when that poster is up and visible. I think I got a few, so like magicians and mimes, and then you have the celebration, which is the end game scoring. That will always be the poster at the end. They are the same size in the game, but I just wanted some increasing size to create dramatic effect. But they are just cards that are at the top for each game. The first 2 rounds, there are cards, but they are blank, so you don't get any extra bonuses there, because that would really be a little more dependent on luck. Okay. There is a board, so after you're done upgrading your characters and your acts, trying to put cubes on them, you can also spend upgrade cards in order to try to upgrade on each of these 3 tracks. There's a left track going up that ladder there, and that will be the number of performers you're allowed to have in your caravan row. So at the start of the game, you can only have 2, but if you can upgrade, you'll be able to have 3 and even 4. As soon as you upgrade, you flip over another one from the deck, adding a performer in that you can start working on and upgrading and adding cubes to. The one on the right that goes up that ladder is how many cards you're allowed to draw, in addition to the number that are in that line from the center stage, so that you're able to have more abilities to upgrade, as well as more of those cards that are needed in order to pay the costs. And lastly, the center area is some bonuses for the end of the game, those little stands there in the stage that have the ones above them, they're going to give you bonus points at the end of the game for how many cubes that you still have on your performers when the game ends. Well, that is Circus, so that's kind of the medium-sized game coming out from Amuza, and it will be a part of that Kickstarter as well, and that is again in September. And now we have one more. It's the smallest game, but pretty mighty, and my opinion, the most hilarious. It's Bugs. So this is a game about being a bug and looking for food, and you're getting real hungry, and there are cockroaches and maggots and fleas, and you want to attract as many of them to you as possible. And the bugs themselves will, so every game there's a deck of bugs cards. These are the bugs, and you'll have one that is the active card for the round, and then you'll have another one that is visible on the top of the deck, letting you know what's coming up in the future round. And then all players have the same deck of 10 action cards, as well as 9 lure cards. Now, lure is the thing that the bug is dreaming of, much like in pizza, instead of pineapple, they're dreaming of things like moldy bread. So you will have cards that match whatever that bug is hoping to eat, and once the bug card is revealed for the round, you place the number of bug tokens on the side of the card that matches their number. So if it says 4, you'll put 4 tokens on that side, and if the other side says 3, you'll put 3 tokens on that side. And then all players are going to look at their hands of lure cards, and they're going to choose a lure, and they're all going to then reveal that simultaneously. And you want to play the lure that matches what bug you want to try to attract to you. So if you had the flea, you would want to play that mangy cat to attract the fleas to eat your sad cat. And if you're a maggot, you want to play the gross slimy ham there. And if you're a cockroach, that moldy bread will look so delicious. So you'll play those down, everyone plays them simultaneously, but then nothing happens. You don't divide them up. Now that everybody has seen what everyone else has played, everybody's going to look through their action cards, their 10 action cards, and everybody has the same deck, but you're only going to get to play the action card one time in each game, so you have to choose wisely. Now the action cards are going to drastically affect who gets which of the bugs based on the lure cards. So if there were 3 tokens on one side and 4 on the other, and you played towards the 3, you might decide you want to play the number 4 action card there, which you'll see there in the middle row on the left-hand side, will be a rotation of the cards. So you're actually going to change it so that you have attracted the bug that now has more bugs on its side rather than the side that has the less. And you played strategically thinking you were going to play that action card, so you only went after the fewer bugs to begin with because you knew you were going to rotate it. So suddenly your lure card is actually playing into the larger pool rather than the lower, whereas everyone else might be fighting over that larger pool. The different actions include things like number 1, which cancels the inaction of another player's card. Number 2 is going to add bugs to the side that you're hoping to attract from. The number 3, which takes it from the other side so that your opponents hopefully won't get them. Number 5, it means that the card that you played is no longer for the side that you played it on, but actually the other side. Number 6 is going to freeze everything, so you actually take your card back. Nobody gets any of the tokens, no matter what they played on your side. The other side is unaffected. Number 7 is going to be whatever is left over. Jumping ahead. Normally, once you've decided who gets what and how things are broken up, anybody that's fighting for that particular side, it's going to be divided evenly. If things cannot be divided evenly, those things are left back in the pool. So if there's 3 people fighting over 5 things, everyone will get 1 and 2 will be remaining. Now, if you play card 7 at that particular moment, you would actually get the leftovers and be able to take those 2 extra bugs. Number 8 means that you're going to leave your lure card out for the next round because you see that something's coming up. It gives you a chance to maybe perhaps play on both sides or have an extra strength value, so you're dividing up between yourself 2 extra times instead of only once. So it can be a very powerful strategic play. And number 9 allows you to play yours face down so that people can't see your next lure card, so they don't know which side that you're trying to go for. So that card also stays out for the next round. And then once everybody's done that, you divide up the bugs and move on to the card that you saw face up and reveal a new one, so you're preparing for the next round. The game moves super fast. Everybody's kind of choosing their actions simultaneously, you're not really waiting for any one player, and then you're dividing up the bugs and hoping to be the person who has the largest army of bugs at the end of the game. Well, that is Pizza, Circus, and Bugs. Those are the three first games that are going to be in the music Kickstarter here in Q3, hoping to release later this year, maybe early 2021. And the Kickstarter will allow you to kind of buy them individually or as a bundle. I know some of you out there might be saying, well, that isn't exactly what we initially advertised. Well, we are starting up this division and company separate from Game Brewer here during the pandemic, so things have had to change a little bit. It's been harder to market and get out there without a lot of stores being opened, and so we've had a lot of good Kickstarter family around us, so we're hoping that you can follow us into kickstarting these games, and we definitely would appreciate it to get ourselves off and running with these three family games. The ages on them are all 8+. I think you could probably tell now whether that would work for your family or not. But does anybody in the chat have any questions? I've just seen a couple comments, but no questions. I thought I'll leave it open for a little bit if anyone has anything to ask. They love pizza and they love bugs. I wonder if they love pizza that is being eaten by bugs, perhaps at a picnic or at the circus. All right, I think that is probably it. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a good last evening of Gen Con and a good final day tomorrow. We have one more stream coming up for you at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is a live how to play Arkwright the card game, which is our next Game Brewer Kickstarter launching on August 10th. Thank you very much and have a good day.